Hey, Mr.
Call me Mikhail.
And you're looking for a used vehicle?
Things not too good in my country. Many cutbacks.
Well, don't worry. At Warnock, you'll get the right car at the right price.
Good. Must save rubles for snowy days.
You know, for 20 years, we've been satisfying customers with our premier service.
I miss being treated like premier.
What are you doing?
Checking for bugs.
There's no need. Warnock pre-owned cars are totally reliable.
Reliability, very important. May need quick exit.
Welcome back to The Best Years. If you're a regular viewer, our next guest needs no introduction. Usually he's the one asking the questions and telling someone else's story. Our senior correspondent, Dom Elagia, has a great story of his own to tell. A retired newspaper reporter, Dom now uses his media talents as an actor, sports announcer, and voiceover artist. Dom, welcome to The Best Years.
Thanks for having me on as a guest.
It's wonderful to have you on as a guest. Now, your background, you started in newspaper reporting. What type of stories were you working on?
Well, basically I was a sports writer, so you cover everything from Little League to Major League. And it was in North Jersey at a newspaper in Hudson County called the Hudson Dispatch, which unfortunately is no longer in existence. But with that, I also had this love of radio. I thought, what a great way to make a living, announcing and being paid for it. So I started to dabble in radio, working at radio stations in North Jersey, and I mixed both. And then finally, an opportunity came along at a TV network in Connecticut called Enterprise Sports TV Network. Unfortunately, it lasted all of 9 months. They went through $7.5 million. Unfortunately for me, I was out of work. Came back down to North Jersey and wound up at the ABC Radio Network in New York as what they call an associate director, which I worked with the news and sports programming. That lasted all of 1.5 years. I was downsized. I was part of the downsized situation. So now I thought, well, what do I do now? Well, through the help of some friends, I decided to go freelance, and that was in 1983. And ever since then, I've been freelancing, doing voiceovers, on-camera things, commercial print modeling, and sports work.
That's not an easy way to make a living as a freelancer. What's that like, never knowing where the next job is?
Well, it's a peaks and valleys thing. Believe you me, of course, I go up against the best in New York and in Philadelphia. It's a very competitive field, but when you do succeed at an audition, it's a great, great feeling. And I enjoy the work. I just hate pursuing it.
They may be tough, but this is the AWF Snackdown, and we're going to the mat with body smarts. And I'm putting the industry on notice that you guys is gonna rock the retail world.
When did you first realize you had a good voice for announcing?
Well, it actually goes way back to junior high school days. And when I was asked to do the Gettysburg Address at a commencement program. And ever since that time, people would say, why don't you do some shows here in high school when you get to high school? And I did, and that just increased my interest in announcing and doing stuff along those lines. And
you were doing the public announcing in the Meadowlands and also at West Point?
Yes, that's a sort of a labor of love. I was the public address announcer for Army football for 32 years, did 15 Army-Navy games. And then in the Meadowlands, I was the basketball public address announcer and had the opportunity to do 5 NCAA regionals. So it was great fun, not a way to make a lot of money, but it augmented and helped me pay some bills.
So what is some of the print work that you've done that perhaps we'd be familiar with, or some of the radio work you've done?
Well, I've done some crazy radio commercials. Some was in cable commercials, some were seen in other areas like Monmouth County, where I did the Freehold Auto Group, real deals for real people. And I did in Philadelphia for a restaurant on the Delaware River. I played a fish, saying, I'm tired of being a fish. I wish I could get into the restaurant. And my partner said, the only way you're going to get into this restaurant is on a plate. So I've had, I enjoy the offbeat, in other words, and it's been a variety of things. I played a sleazy plumber. I've played a Gorbachev. I've done Ben Franklin for print, for Simplicity Patterns, and doctors, patients, the whole 9 yards, homeowner, and crazy plumber. The variety is what I enjoy the most. It never gets dull.
There's no substitute for the comfort, security, and independence of a person's home. Omega Home Health Services, a leader in home health care, provides a range of services, from home health and personal care aides to registered nurses.
Grandpa, have you ever caught a fish before?
Sure, catch blues, stripers, weakfish, flounders, all kinds of fish. When I was your age, we caught them by the truckload, from Bay Street to Great Kills here, right down to the Raritan.
Grandpa, do you think we'll catch a fish today?
What would you consider a career highlight if you could name one thing or two?
Well, I enjoyed the work I did both at West Point and in Meadowlands, but it's hard to say which TV spot you did is best. To me, the one you do right now is the best.
That's right.
And when the opportunity came along here to do Best Years, that's the best.
Yeah, a lot of people imagine this type of work to be very glamorous and lots of fun. And how would you describe, you do some TV audition work and other audition work, how would you describe the reality of doing this type of work?
Well, the reality is that the glamour wears off in about 2 weeks, and then it becomes a job like everything else. Auditions are really nerve-wracking. You go into these things not knowing what the people on the other side are going to expect of you. You don't know what they're looking for until they hear it. It's for the voiceover audition, it's when they hear it, they say, that's what we want. Or when you go in for something on camera, he's got the look, he looks like the right type for this particular spot. So it's very nerve-wracking, and you're up against the best.
How about the Best Years? Now, this is a great gig for you, and we're so lucky to have your voice and your talent here on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure working with Sandy Levine each and every segment, every month. And I enjoy working with the people here, for Ralph Bertini and Roseanne D'Urso. Wonderful people. The crew is the great crew to work with, and it's a fun gig.
But also to cover stories in your hometown area and of interest rather to seniors. That must be a rewarding work for you.
Well, actually, seniors, you know, and I kind of cringe at that term. I like to say chronologically gifted. But it's nice working, and there is such a chronologically gifted community in the Toms River and the Ocean County area. And it's good to show that there are a lot of things that they can really be involved in.
Dom Elaggio, we're so lucky to have you here today and have you as part of the show. Thank you for being here in the studio.
Again, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, after this short break, we'll meet a group of writers who are working together as a team. We'll be right back.